Call to order the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting of Thursday, November 7th, 2024. If we could all stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I have my tie.
Wow,
My
really
post-election
about
tie.
last time, huh?
Yeah, right. And Buffy, I usually do not wear a tie, but I decided to today. So I'd like to introduce Buffy Computero. Buffy is not her given name. It's Elizabeth, but she goes by Buffy, and she is our newest member for North of the Broad. Do you want to take a second and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. As you said, my name is Buffy Camputaro. I live out in Land's End. I'm an attorney for Motley Rice, which is a plaintiff's law firm out in Mount Pleasant. Been with them for over a decade, and have moved back and forth from Beaufort to Charleston and back to Beaufort several times, but I'm happy to serve on the board now.
Right.
Welcome.
And you previously were on a library board, right, for the
I
county
was,
some
yes,
time ago?
and the election commission.
Okay, but thank you for being here. All right, so normal introductions.
Alan Arsenault, south of the Broad.
Mark Reddix, north of the Broad.
Dr. Carlos Cave, Beaufort County School District.
Kaiser, south of the Broad.
All right, and I'm Bruce Yeager, and I'm south of the Broad. Okay, we've got our agenda. You've all been, we're all looking at it. Anybody have any comments on that? Can I get a motion to approve that?
A motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have anyone here for public comment? We do not. Okay. Yeah, that is a first. Okay.
Rain.
All right. Item number 6, review and approval of the September minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at those? And are there any comments or additions, modifications that we need here?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Buffy, this thing's rolling good, isn't it, today? Okay, department reports.
So here in Bluffton, we got our basketball program starting. We've got 904 kids signed up, age 14 to 16. We've got roughly 130 teams in those age groups. We have our coaches meeting the 12th and the 13th, and then we're gonna start practices on the 16th, and then games will start January 4th.
You said 14 to 16?
I'm sorry, 4 to 6. 4 to 16.
4 to 16.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Young kids around.
Yeah, right.
4 to 16. We also just opened up our registration November 1st for adult kickball. Right now we only got 12 signed up, but we're only a week into it. So
That seems like a lot of kids off in basketball. Will you have late registration that'll get that gap?
we do. We have kids on the wait list that we're trying to get off. Problem is we're trying to find coaches. So we can't pull too many off without having coaches for them.
How long's the wait list right now?
20? Yeah, about 20.
So we're probably not down, is what you're saying? Much. Okay.
We wrapped up our fall sports past couple weeks. We're getting ready to start soccer all-stars. I know in Bluffton we have 8U boys and girls all the way up to 15U boys and girls. So that tournament's going to be next weekend in Beaufort. Flag football, we did something new this year. We did a tournament, an end of the season tournament for all the kids. They really loved it, enjoyed it. We got them medals for the tournament champion and runner-up. That went over well. For our adult sports, we just wrapped up our adult volleyball. I think we ended up with 7 teams in adult volleyball, did a tournament for them. They all love that. We're still trying to wrap up our adult softball. We got some leagues that are starting their tournament and then some leagues that are 2 weeks in because they've been rained out every Thursday and Thanksgiving and Halloween. So we got our Thursday nights a little bit behind, but everything else is starting playoffs, so we're wrapping that up now.
So we got some stuff coming up here for sports too in Beaufort. We got our youth basketball, a little bit down there from compared to last year, and we've got adult kickball, runs the same as Bluffton, so we only have one person registered so far, but it's only been a week. And then we just started a adult basketball season that's going to be taking place down at Lynn Brown. We've got 33 people signed up, so there's 4 teams. It's going to run pretty typical to what the other adult sports are going to see with number of games and time frame and stuff like that. So that'll be good. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes and try and see if we can get that taking off a little bit.
Is that a full court 5-on-5?
Full court 5-on-5.
Do they have cross courts at Lynn Brown?
They do, but those goals don't go up and down. So, and they're small.
Well, what I was going to say is years ago, and I believe they may still have it, Bob, they have on the rec center, they have a 3-on-3 cross court league, and that tended to be very well subscribed.
Yes, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying
to look into either. Yeah,
something to think about.
yeah, for sure.
Because
for sure.
you can get
Well-
more people playing, more
Yeah.
teams, and you can play with 5 guys total
Yeah.
on a team. And
Well,
the cross
and-
court's better for us old people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully stuff after our basketball season's over might move forward a little bit more with Lynn Brown and the work they're going to do there. So we should be getting new floors, bleachers, goals, all that stuff. And I think there's definitely an opportunity to expand on all of this programming.
So you
once
could
that's
have
done.
adjustable hoops at Lynn Brown, and then
Yes.
cross court would make sense.
Yes, yeah, and that I think is in the plan as well. To get goals and stuff that look like what we have at Burton Wells or over here. So I think that's kind of in the works. So. So we had positive numbers in all of our sports over the fall. Those are all done, except cheer that went down a little bit, but they were all up in numbers. We've got All-Stars coming up for soccer as well. So we're hosting the tournament in Beaufort at Burton Wells on the 16th for district. That's going to be mostly us in Bluffton, 2 of those age groups. Orangeburg is coming down to play on as well. And then on the 23rd and 24th of November, we're hosting the 8U, 10U, and 12U girls state tournament at Burton Wells. So we're working on that, communicating with Sean Taylor up in Orangeburg. He's the director right now of SCAP soccer. So getting stuff organized with him, getting referees, trophies, all that good stuff ready to rock and roll. And then, I guess I can do it after this. So adult basketball, we're starting that up at Lynn Brown, like I said, touched on that a little bit. Plans to hopefully do something indoors as well. I think it will be at Lynn Brown with an adult soccer league. Futsal league, I think, is something similar. I don't know. It's pretty preliminary right now, but something that we're looking at trying to kickstart. And then lacrosse, we had a camp over the spring. That was a 3-day clinic. And then over the summer, And then over the fall, we had I don't remember, Brock, how many weeks was that? 5 weeks on Saturday, couple of hours. at the end of our flag football programming, because we were doing it on the same field as our flag football programming, where the kids would come out, have a 2-hour clinic with a couple of volunteer coaches. And it was really, really positive feedback and good turnout for those. So we're hoping to do another, small clinic in the winter to drum up interest a little bit more right before the season starts, and then hopefully join that league that Bluffton has a lacrosse league in as well. So hopefully we can get that taken off the ground a little bit. So
You didn't talk about the adult baseball. That looked like, wasn't that program somewhat in question, but it...
I have some more details on that one I wanted to go into with you as well.
Right.
So that's why I didn't touch on that one.
All
But
right.
I have some notes in my notebook. I mean, the numbers are relatively steady at this point. We have 4 consistent teams with usually a 5th, sometimes a 6th team. But I wanted to get the idea out to the board as a whole of, right now we do an individual registration fee of $75 per participant. But talking to the guys that are in charge of each of these teams, I think the goal was to do that until we can establish the league and create now a team sign-up fee, which I think is very possible, and it would look more structured like what they do for adult softball. Now, I do think that with baseball, the cost you incur is a little bit higher because you go through more baseballs in a baseball game than you do with an adult softball game. We give them 5 baseballs at the beginning of the game. I just got a quote for, it usually is about 12 dozen baseballs for the season, which is about $700. We like to have 2 umpires per game, which right now we have 5 teams. So 5 teams is a total of 28 games. And at $50 an umpire, it adds up to about $2,800. So what we would essentially be looking at, and right now we provide jerseys with transfers on the front. And I can put this in writing and send an email proposal with all this as well, Bruce. I have no problem doing that.
Okay.
But basically right now we provide jerseys, which is about $500 cost total with, this is all based off of 5 teams right now. I'm just doing it for recency's sake with this past season. With jerseys, and we have to get the transfers that go on the front, and we heat press them ourselves over at the office. But that cost would go away essentially because it would become, you provide your own uniform just like they do for adult softball here and the adult softball league that we run over in Beaufort as well, co-ed league. So right now the current total is about $5,100 with the individual fees and 68 people registered. But with umpire fee and baseball fee, which is the 2 biggest costs, you'd be looking at about $3,500 to essentially break even on those things for the season, which with 5 teams, it would be about a $700 team fee, which still lowers the individual cost per person to about $60 a person. If you carry 12 people on a team, which is typically what these teams like to do, but it also gives them an opportunity to carry more people on their team because it gives them flexibility with their roster because it would be a free individual sign up. So then the team fee is essentially going to be set by each individual team, which becomes different as long as we get the entirety of the team fee paid to us before the season starts. But like I said, I can put all this in writing, and I know fees have to be set here. But
So in that situation, from an insurance perspective, we provide insurance, right? No, we don't.
Everyone signs waivers,
Oh, so
a
they're
liability
waivers,
waiver.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So and it would still go through that same process of the individual, sign up and signing the waiver and everything of liability.
Do we when we have people that sign up individually, obviously we get all those waivers signed. The question I have, and I know it doesn't happen at the younger leagues, obviously, but we only got 8 tonight. I'm going to call my buddy over here, and he can come and play.
Right.
And and they get out on the field, and then they take a line drive to the head, and they're not signed up.
Right. It's the same thing. We're out there every night you know,
check,
facilitating and we check. I know pretty much all the guys that play in that league now.
Okay.
So, you know, it's easy for me to tell whenever someone's out of place, and, you know, it's again, I think this structure would allow us for those teams to carry closer to 15 players on a team, and then they can bring 9 guys to a game instead of having 15 guys that paid $75 at the beginning of the season, because we do a continuous batting order. So then they're hitting 15 guys when typically you want to hit 9, 10,
Right.
whatever it is. So it gives them that flexibility as well.
Well, it sounds to me like it's a wash. We're doing less work, and we're not really losing anything here. Is that correct?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
The players, are they mostly Buford players or?
Yeah, there's majority, I would say probably 80, 85 of them are Buford. There's some from Walterboro. There's a couple, I think, that come off of Hilton Head to play, and then probably a couple from Bluffton as well. But a majority of it is Buford, yes.
So I guess the question is, I think if you could put something in writing down, I think in general, we can take a poll here. In general, I would be in favor of doing what you've recommended. I just think we probably need something on paper.
Just gonna run it pretty much the same as you run the softball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It takes, it's structured right now. It's still pretty similar to the way we run adult softball, but this would just give a little bit more flexibility to the teams themselves with roster space, and kind of allow me to regulate things a little bit better.
I know they have trouble as the season goes along of getting enough players.
Correct.
And then, you know, when you have that season during the summer, kids go back to school,
Correct, yeah.
back to college.
Because we get some college kids that sign up, because it's 18 and over league.
And so the next season will be in the summer?
Yes.
Okay.
We have our season is currently going on right now. I
Right,
think we're like
right.
3 weeks in or something like that.
Right.
So that'll finish
So-
right after New Year's.
So I would say unless we want some more discussion here, just put that for our review in January. And
Okay.
just give us some numbers on a
Yep.
piece of paper, and versus today versus what it would be then. And I would think we'd be apt to say, sure, you're running the program. That makes sense. Does anyone have any other comments on that? Welcome, Johnny. Janae?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Great. I have just a general, is that the end of your?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
that's it.
I just have a general kind of observation. It looked like everything in Bluffton was down, which surprised me, and it looks like everything in Buford is up, which doesn't really surprise me because Buford is growing pretty rapidly.
Got a lot of housing going up right now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't know really what terms of turnover in military is. I know that some people have come more off of base to play with us, which is, something to consider. But I think a lot of different factors. I also think we have, I think we have a really good team and some positive traction with everything going on in Buford right now. So
is there any reason you think we're down in Bluffton in those various areas?
I'll weigh in a little bit. Just so it probably would be best to see a 2-year trend, which you've kind of
sure.
talked about in the past, because in 2 years ago we were here, and then last year we skyrocketed, and so I think there's probably normalizing with what a normal season will be, but without seeing a 2-3 year trend, it'd be
Okay.
difficult to say a one-term downturn is it really a downturn?
Sure. Okay.
I think we've just been used to their numbers going up every year.
We're right.
The numbers, the numbers were down, there were some negatives, but they weren't down significant amounts.
Yeah. Okay. Just an observation. All right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yes, a huge positive for the Buford side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Senior programming, our attendance is increasing. We've been able to open up the waiting list to several centers. So as we register them, the numbers keep increasing. Some of the target numbers for home delivered meals and group dining are close to 3,000 and over the 3,000 mark for the last couple months. We did have 2 hurricanes, so that was fun to navigate. But with wellness checks and this last go-round, Helene caught us off guard, so we ended up actually doing some hot home-delivered meals as well, while the centers were being cleared and reopened for safety and such. Of course, you see traveling, they love to travel.
Don't we have some new vans?
We have new buses.
No, new buses, right?
Yes, we're working on the vans. The vans should be coming. But we do have 2 new 36-passenger buses, and it's out and about all the time. They're getting ready to do, they're gonna be in the Heritage Parade down on the island on the north end on Saturday. And they just were, today several of the centers went to the Marine Corps Air Station birthday party luncheon. So they're on the move.
Great. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so for Battery Creek, hours are still the same as normal. We have our school swim lessons that have started back up again. Monday through Thursday, Fridays are always optional depending on weather and chemicals and everything, but it's from 9 to 1. The programs we have at Battery Creek is our deep water aerobic every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then our Finn swim team Monday through Friday. The numbers for our check-in for September is 1,277, and October is 1,178.
Can I ask if maybe in the future, when we talk about patron check-ins, if we can differentiate that between just public and fins?
So split those two up.
Yeah,
Okay.
just so we get a feel for, the number
the
of
public-
those that are fins.
Okay.
I would think that may be a lot of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of the numbers are from the Finn swim
So
team.
to me, what would be helpful is just to see what's school-related swim lessons, what's fins, and then what's just general public coming in. I think that would give us a better idea what we're looking at, if that's okay.
I can try to figure that
Okay.
out. Awesome. Any questions for Battery Creek Pool? Okay, so our Beaufort Pool, same thing, same hours. Our school swim lessons will start back up again. They are from 9 to 1 as well. Our programs, we have our scuba class going on. That is by appointments. Then we also have our water aerobics. That one is Wednesdays and Fridays. And then our check-in for September is 750, and for October is 617. School swim lessons ended, not school swim lessons, school swim team. That's why the numbers went down.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
So that is more of a patron check-in.
Yeah, so,
For that.
and when, Carlos is head of the athletics, so, it would be good to see what swim teams were doing as well. I know that Bluffton's down, right? It's still down?
Yes, Bluffton is still down, but they've been using our Battery Creek pool.
Okay.
So that's the, half of the Finn swim team is also for the high school. So most of them swim on the high school and then swim on Finn's.
Yeah, I just like, I'll throw this out to the rest of the board. I'd like to see what just general public is using the pool and, versus the swim teams and also obviously the lessons. Did we renew that contract, Carlos? For,
I think the MOU's been, either is complete or they're finalizing it.
okay,
Yeah, but everything is good. There's not been any issues while that's being worked out, or I'm not sure if it's been signed yet. I know the MOU for the agreement with the rec area fields, those things, that is done.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
different
Yeah, yeah,
agreement,
yeah,
right?
that's a different agreement.
Okay. So, Buffy, the school district and the county have agreement to provide swim lessons, and that agreement, I think, was originally a 10 or a 15-year agreement that just recently matured, and that's what we're looking to, is being renewed. Okay.
Our Bluffton pool is still closed. Everything is geared for still opening up in February. I don't know if anyone has driven by it. It looks pretty good so far, but I don't have any pictures or anything for that.
Shane, are you getting phone calls about that every day? No, you're not.
They're probably talking to Eric, so that's good. If there's a
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I know that that's a big issue, and I'm sure there's some people out there watching the construction, some construction supervisors that we have not employed, driving by every day. But that's good that we do think that February it will be back running.
We're hoping, yes.
Yeah. And that's our pool that has the most use.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And our last pool is the Alvin Settles outdoor pool. That one is closed, and that will reopen in May. The classes that we offer, we have our group and private swim lessons. Those are all year round. We have our stroke improvement, our CPR, and our lifeguarding classes. Something new that we just put up is all of the classes are online now, so you can actually see the times and the days, and you can register online.
So can you used to provide us with numbers as to what was happening versus just what we provide. I mean, is that something that you could do again? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. I just think that's helpful to see.
We can do that.
You know, how many people we're serving. And are we still have a shortage of lifeguards?
We are, yes.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Any other questions for the pools?
Thanks.
I'll start this one. So we've talked about it in the past, but we've started a recreation division, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But we brought on Vida here, Farenika Reynolds, so I'm going to introduce her. She was with our senior program, and she's coming on. She's kind of handling the recreation piece right now, mostly out of Lynn Brown. We are still working to get a recreation superintendent on board to kind of manage it from a larger scale. But she's been doing wonderful work kind of on the north side, so I'm going to let her speak to that a little bit first.
Right.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
All right. So in recreation, thus far, we have started a bridge club program. We've also added some new classes such as karate, Zumba, Latin dance. Everything is listed online with the location, time, and fees. We've also started a mentoring group. We actually have two. One is an all-male and one is all-female group. In these groups, the youth are able to engage in activities. They take college tours. They have guidance from experienced people like you and I who help the children and support them with their personal and professional growth. We are also working with the Boys and Girls Club of the Low Country to get a teen program started. So we have a meeting with the president on next week. So we have good hopes to start a positive relationship with the Boys and Girls Club of the Low Country. We had two events, one in June. One was the Unity in the Community. The Unity in the Community was a place for the residents to come and have a bunch of resources under one roof. At this event, we had maybe like 15 to 20 vendors. We gave away free pool passes, which was a hit. All right, and then in October, we just partnered with the Beaufort City Police Department and the Great Grand Foundation and held a trunk or treat event. The Beaufort Car Club came out with their fancy cars, decorated their trunks, and gave away lots of treats. I would say we probably served maybe over 200 children at this event. So we're rocking and rolling.
So this is to provide some clarity here. This is a new position?
Yes, yes.
I mean, this is a new position, and this position is focused north of the Broad at this point in time, is that?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I have an org chart and a couple slides, so I'll kind
Okay,
of step.
so you'll address that? Okay, great.
Any other questions for me?
Yes, and the partnership with the police is going to be part of this, like having a youth, because I love it, partnership with the officers and the youth to kind of bridge this.
So that was just for that event, but we
Right.
do have some officers that are our mentors for
Yes.
our all boys group.
That.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do they meet on a regular basis?
yes.
Every Monday, and where do they meet at?
Lynn Brown.
Lynn
from
Brown.
6 to 7.
Okay. Is all this at Lynn Brown?
The mentor groups are at Lynn Brown, but the classes are between these two centers, between Lynn Brown and this facility.
So far, how many folks do you have participating in the classes?
Ooh, it varies. It just depends on the interest of the community, because you may have maybe 5 or 6 people that love Zumba, but you have about 15 or 20 that love the Latin dance. So it kind of varies on the interest of the community right now. The bridge class, the bridge program, we have about 15 seniors from Dawtaw and Fripp. They meet every Tuesday at Lynn Brown.
Media outlets are we using to get the word out?
Right now, we're using our Facebook page and an email blast. Is that right, Jeremy?
And we've had WTOC and WSAV at some of our other programs.
Right.
I think that's gonna kind of snowball as we grow.
Okay.
But
I think it's
I'll speak to that on a separate.
Okay, okay.
as well.
Great, thank you very
Great
much.
idea.
You're welcome.
Great.
I was wondering what Jungle Body was. That might be my jam. You never know.
One of our most popular. So I kind of wanted to show the org chart here, which you may or may not have seen before. This column and this column and this column and this column are more traditional, what you would have seen in the past. Our senior management program has kind of always been here, but we currently have a position open for the superintendent of recreation. So we thought we were close on that, but we're still working, but we're doing interviews for that position. Their role will be to manage recreation as a program across the county. So if you're not familiar, recreation, so we've done a phenomenal job with our league development over the years. We've got great league programs that have 1,000 kids in them. You've seen the numbers, but we haven't done a lot of focus on what we'll call traditional recreation, which is classes, camps, and special events. So that's kind of the key vision, is to manage classes, camps, and special events. So the numbers piece on the classes that we offer, over time we'll start showing you the numbers that we have in those classes. We've always offered, not always, but for a while now, we've offered some classes like the jump. I'm about to be able to see the chart here. So like a jungle body is more of a drop-in type class, but we're looking to expand into people registering for a 6-week class or an 8-week class or a 10-week class. So we have more kind of what I'll call a normal recreation program, which a lot of the places around the country have. So things like, eventually dog obedience and full martial arts programs and performing arts and fine arts and special events and that type of thing, getting kind of a holistic approach to providing recreation to the community. So that's this role.
Are these things that we would typically have in a 70-30 program?
Yes.
Now,
Correct.
where we would have that type of deal?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That'll
are there
expand.
any people we're having active 70-30 programs with that we're squeezing out here?
Can you rephrase?
Is there anybody are we still doing 70-30
Absolutely.
programs?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the classes that were listed on the previous, those are 70-30 people. So we'll bring
Okay.
in, someone who wants to do gymnastics, and they will teach our gymnastics programs, and they'll be on a 70-30.
Okay.
We won't be hiring instructors per se. We'll be kind of fulfilling the 70-30, just because that's the only avenue we currently have for that.
I think it would be great if we could all get a distribution of that org chart.
Yes.
And if you could put names where they're at least at the present time, that would be very helpful if we could have that sent to us before the next meeting. And I guess those coordinators and those things down the middle, they have north and south. People are,
So right now, no. So right now, this is Marissa. She's our senior program manager, and then Lindsay. So the dotted line boxes, those are new positions. These others are the people who manage the senior program. So they'll have somewhat of an expanded role. Vita was our first recreation coordinator. So we will eventually have one on the south side, but we have to get those positions approved. We have to beg, borrow, and steal to get them from other departments because we're somewhat position limited in several places. So everyone who's bolded or not outlined is a current position. It's just the kind of the those.
good.
So just some updates. I don't think I've talked about it previously, but we did start an adapted soccer program this fall, which we just concluded. So that we had about 20 children with special needs in that program. We were featured on WTOP and WSAV. They came and did a nice story and put them in the papers. So we will be looking to continue that in the spring in some way, shape, or form. We haven't decided what we're going to do, but that somewhat in partnership with Beaufort County School District. We actually hosted that at one of the local schools, and we'll probably bring that back in-house in the spring based on availability of resources. But that is a program that we're getting off the ground. We hosted the cross-country meet at Burton Wells, so for local schools up north. So another piece of the partnership there. We're trying to slowly get our feet wet on the sharing of resources with the schools. We're hosting a youth summit next week for all the Beaufort County School District children interested in kind of pursuing we'll call it an adapted program. It's kind of a leadership piece where they'll be bussed in for a few hours to Burton Wells. So we're doing that next week. We hosted May River basketball here in the gym the other day because they needed some resources because their teams made states in a couple places, so they lost their tryout space at there. And then we've got the Thumbs Up partnership, which Vita's done a great job with. In fact, they sent us a letter of thanking us for a kind of a summer program and a continued fall type after school program. So, Vita's doing a great job of kind of reaching out to the community, but the goal is that we do that a lot more, bringing in outside groups to, the big brothers, big sisters, that type of thing to kind of further the program. And then we have lots of construction either in the works or will be soon. We did get approval from the council to pursue new buildings for Agnes Major and Booker T. So those will be kind of build to print type buildings in those locations. Lynn Brown is out for RFP to get Alex talked about it, but get all the gym floor redone and some of those amenities done. Bluffton Pool, I did speak with Construction Sutton yesterday just to verify that we're on track. It is on track for January 1st with the fact that they have some long lead items that may push us back. So right now, February 1st is the conservative estimate, and we're going to stick with February 1st because things never go as planned. But that was confirmed yesterday that we're still on track according to our architect there. Bluffton Center, we met and got in progress an estimate for kind of redoing the baseball fields at Bluffton Center, and then trying to turf the field in the back, which we use for lacrosse mostly. So we're waiting. That will go out for RFP to see what we can actually afford based on how much money we have. But ideally, we'd be able to do that. And the senior center portion is also getting a new elevator and getting some nice renovations on the inside at Bluffton Center.
Do we have access to bathrooms there now from the outside?
At Bluffton Center?
Yeah.
We do. The challenge is they're not always open when they should be. We lost some access because we were doing early voting there, so I know there was some consternation from the youth softball, baseball folks because the voting folks would lock it from the outside, and so there's probably a better solution than what we're doing, but we don't have it yet.
Well, I know that people were not wanting to go to those fields because of that at one time, and I thought we had, and I went there for early voting too, and I thought the size of those fields and just the overall condition of everything there, it was being well used, and I think that's kind of a jewel there.
Yes. So from the previous side, when we do get our next recreation coordinator, so a Vita counterpart, they will be at Bluffton Center, and their job will be to kind of build out the recreation program at Bluffton Center. So hopefully we have enough money to kind of build up those fields, nice, more, give them a little bit more depth, so the fences are actually the right size and in fields, et cetera. But we still have to wait to see how far our dollar will go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fraser, we've been, and for a while now, been trying to get netting behind the Oscar Frazier, specifically Oscar Frazier 1, because there's some challenges between flag football and our adult sports and how hard they can hit the ball. So that hopefully will get done in this fiscal year to get some netting outside of at least Frazier 1 to offer a little bit of protection and keep the balls where they need to go.
That's because of softball, people hit,
Adult softball,
crushing the
yes,
ball into,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
gotcha.
Yep. So any questions on that?
Yes, on the Agnes Major Center, is that a center or a gym?
It's a center.
Center,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
I would say, I'm really happy and excited about the work that the school district and the recreation department are doing together. And I commend Carlos for that and everybody else, that we have all these resources, that there used to be this Chinese wall between us, and that's coming down. And I think that's really, I've said this before, but I think that's really going to help us, especially where we are more rural in nature, especially the northern part of the county, to have access to those facilities. So I think that allows us to leverage what we have, and I'd like to thank you, Carlos, for spearheading that, being part of that. So I really appreciate that.
And I'll put it in my pitch now that would love to see a joint Parks and Rec and school district field complex.
Yes.
You guys have more land than I think we do to some extent, so we're happy to take care of it.
We're all on the same team.
I'm glad you said that, because there are some areas I was going to get with Eric, some areas I wanted to show him that I know those areas are currently Beaufort County School District property, but they're just sitting there, and I'm like, this is underutilized, so some things can take place here, but just got to be strategic about what that would look like. Yep.
We desperately need baseball fields and softball fields on this side. There's a few more on the north side, but we desperately need them on this side, and an indoor aquatic center.
Question, and maybe Carlos, you know this. I've gotten some questions because of being on the board. When this contract gets done, are they going to redo the event fees? Are they going to be the same, basically? Like, there's a huge difference between renting from you guys and renting from the school district, like the pricing. So is that part of what you guys are discussing?
So the MOU for the facility share piece, I think the fees pretty much have somewhat gone away as a part of both parties working together. So the fees are very, very, is substantially lower than what it would be for an outside group that would want to come in and use the facility.
It'll be more in line with what we charge.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good question. All right, so,
Hey, real quick, was that new construction on both of those sites?
what's that?
The Washington and Agnes? Was that
New I think those are improvements, right? Or is it
It's
new construction, that's
Yeah.
part of the
Agnes
plan?
Major has been
Beautiful.
destroyed, yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then
got you.
They took down Agnes Major, and they're, building
I
a
saw,
whole brand new
yes,
building.
I
Yeah.
actually visited Agnes and Booker T,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
All right, does anybody else have anything good for the cause or anything they want to say here? Yes. Yes. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a great idea, and thank you for doing that. So why don't we go around and everybody introduce yourself and where you are, and so Buffy Computero will know that.
I'm Brock Vaughn. I'm an athletic supervisor at Beaufort.
Evan Christian, athletic manager.
Daryl's always really excited about it. I just want to let you know that. Known him for a long time. Great. Thank you for that. That was very nice, yes.
Well, I'm Janae Hayes.
Also known as Late Janae.
I'm also a guest teacher with the guest teacher at a guest teacher at with one of the schools here, and that's why forgive me for being tardy.
Okay.
Should be talking.
I was here early, Janae. Just want to let you know that. All right. Without any other comments, we appreciate everybody being here today. We appreciate all the hard work that you're doing. A lot of great things happening in Beaufort County. A lot of great things happening between the school district and the Parks and Rec group. So really appreciate that. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you.